This is audio file 017 from the question and answer book The Mancharians' Newest Civilization. As people we ought to overcome our fragmentation and evolve to a oneness with creation. But how can we get to that accelerated growth? The Mancharians explain it, and advise to consciously connect with our higher selves and other evolved dots, who are those who have already accomplished the task of oneness with others. The information you will hear now is taken from the question and answer book, called The Mancharians' Newest Civilization. All sessions were recorded in 1995 in Tempe, Arizona. We offer these audio files as a free gift under the Creative Fair Use copyright rules. The text in spoken words may therefore be freely copied, distributed, and stored in any electronic format, provided no text is altered, and the authors' names are not removed from quotations of any length. All commercial copyrights are reserved by the publisher. Director, thank you. I hope you don't mind a little bit of repetition. Some questions are somewhat similar, and you may have already answered this one. What would be your advice to all mankind for them to most effectively break down their fragmentation and achieve true brotherhood-type unity? Mancharians, we see this does present a problem to you and perhaps to your people. Again, we will be willing to respond. You must first, and here we will try to spell it out, and to do a better job in doing so, you must sit still, perhaps by a tree or somewhere where it is quiet and relaxing, and warm sun over the soul. And then you must look up to the sky and put your head back, and slowly close your eyes and just feel the sun's rays or the rain's gentle pattern, whichever you prefer. It is of no consequence here. But the idea is to relax and first experience the consciousness of Mother Nature and of Mother Earth herself, from which Mother Nature permeates out of. And then show yourself to be worthy unto your own God self, for you are the Creator as well. And this concept must be understood by you and your people in order that you will grow. Secondly, when you become one in harmony with the earth and with nature, which is all again one and the same, then simply open your mind and look around with eyes which are not of a physical nature. We see what the universe is telling you. All you have to do is ask. Do you think if you ask, you will be given a comet to come down and hit you on the head? Of course not. You will receive back from the universe what you put in. Do not think for one moment, when one tells you, whatever you put in you receive back tenfold or 100-fold just because you simply did one thing. No, if you receive at any time 10 or 100-fold or 1,000,000-fold etc., you get our point. It is because of many generations of your being deemed down here on the lower planets and again on the higher levels of consciousnesses for certain lessons in other incarnations. And for these reasons at this point in what you would refer as time, do specific things come back to you 10, or 100 or 1,000,000,000 or 1,000,000,000,000-fold. However you may guarantee it to be. You have just guaranteed it and provided for yourself these things over many lifetimes. Always have. And here we do not like to use the word structured, but in your cases we believe structured would be implemented as a most positive goal for you. What we are saying is simply this: have a structured concept or question. Make sure it is viable and as truth-bearing as you can, and think on it, and meditate, and contemplate, as you have suggested. You feel yourself that this would be a good implementation to the process of your growth and continuing evolution. You are so right in this category. We only wish you understood yourself how right you were. And this would be an excellent idea to perform for yourself, and for your people to understand, indeed, to follow in these words of ours. For when you put out and meditate and contemplate upon a certain question and you relax and wait for the response to come to you, it most surely will. Maybe not the first time or the second time that you meditate and send it out to the universe, as you put it, but eventually the answer will come. It all depends how serious you are for yourself, for your own conscious growth. For whatever is put out will indeed be returned in a most gracious and gratifying and sometimes surprising manner, one which you could not avoid. It may not come perfectly in words in your mind. It may come as examples. It may come as categories of analogies, for instance. But here we have seen many who have benefited from conducting long hours research upon their words. Director, I suppose what you just said will be most beneficial to mankind's spiritual growth. Mancharians, man is as a dot. There is another dot. He must learn to reach the second dot to join with himself. For how, once he has reached the second dot, and the second dot has joined with himself, and he sees other dots, how can they swim across the river to him without connecting with their own dots? Prove the dots in instance, in allegory expression, as a man across a river. He sees other men and women across the river. He needs to cross over to that river, or higher dimension, or perhaps the other side of the river is still on his earth plane. Does he not need a boat? Does he not need to put his essence into his higher self? So finally he sees the boat. He needs to get into the boat. Once he is connected with the boat, then he may row to the other side, and connect with those who already have connected. Then there is no need again for climbing into the boat to go back, because he will never need to go back to that shore. He will be a strictly contemporary, there's a new word, form of evolutionary influence and existence, and above all, experience. Once you have progressed to the 13th grade in your schools, for instance, need it be necessary to go back into grade 9? Director: no. Mancharians, proceed at your discretion. Director: end of file 17. Our presence on internet is freeearthsystem.net. Also, starshipfederation.atspace.com.co.uk. My presence on Facebook is facebook.com/Sentana-Ries. It is our intent to present to you listeners the words of the Mancharians from the book The Mancharians' Newest Civilization in audio segments of approximately 5 to 9 minutes in length. Happy listening.